أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. O ye people, fear your Lord who created you from a single soul and created therefrom its mate, and from them twain spread many men and women, and fear Allah, in whose name you appeal to one another, and fear Him, particularly recognizing ties of relationship. Verily, Allah watches over you. Surah Nisa, verse 2. My dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I've been given the topic of a straight path to a successful marriage, and somehow wonder about why this was given to me. It is a most difficult topic, and one I believe myself foremost has to improve on. Often I'll quote in discussions, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in hadith by Osama bin Zayd, I am not leaving a more harmful trial for men than women. Bukhari and Muslim. Or Abu Huraira relates the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, had I ordained that a person should prostrate himself before another, I would have commanded that a wife should prostrate herself before her husband. That's from Tirmidhi. But these ahadith, if you do not have knowledge and the explanation of these, and if you do not make yourself worthy of being a good husband, a faithful father, a faithful husband, then they do not have application. And in today's speech, I want to outline what we as men can do, inshallah, to achieve this. As far as the verse that I have given, it says nafs wahidatin. And nafs wahidatin refers to Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Actually, it refers to Adam and men in general. It also can refer to two separate units, the male unit and the female unit that become one. Because that is what happens in marriage. And this is, of course, this verse is the first part of the nikah khutbah, that of the wedding. That the male unit and the female unit come together. And that forms one soul, and that, of course, brings about many future souls, inshallah. So this is a most important ayat because it forms the bedrock of any marriage. The concept of celibacy or non-union in Islam is negated. It is not like as in, for example, Catholicism, where the fathers and the clergy, they abstain from marriage because of the belief that marriage impedes your nearness to God. Nauzubillah. In Islam, marriage is a way to develop fear of Allah, to increase your fear of Allah, and it is a completion of your life. And of course, fear of Allah only strengthens the marriage more. Marriage, for example, in the US, divorce rates increased from 9 per thousand in 1960 to 23 in 1980. And even more striking, marriage rates have fallen. Forget just having marriages that end in divorce. People are not getting married at all. Marriage rates were 77 back in 1970 and have dropped to 50. Over a one-third drop in marriages in 20 years. People are just not getting married anymore. And cohabitation rates or out-of-wedlock situations have increased from 400,000 back in 1960 to over 4.2 million at the year 2000. 4.2 million. So people are not getting married, and this is the society in which we live. But Islam is totally contrary to this. Islam teaches وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that we created you in pairs. And it even says we created the cattle in pairs, chapter 42, verse 12. So if the cattle know that there's a male camel and a male cow and a female cow and a male bison, how is it that humans who are asani taqweem are leaving this tract? The nature of man and woman must be understood for a successful marriage. Women, for example, Huzur sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, women have been created from a rib, and surely the most crooked part of a rib is the highest part thereof. If you set yourself to straighten it, you will break it. This is Sahih Bukhari, chapter on Nikah. So that shows that women's nature is such that it is not straight, it is different. But there is beauty in that. It lends itself charm. For men, Holy Quran says in chapter 21, verse 38, that man is made of haste. Man is made of haste. And that means that we may be predisposed to making decisions hastily and quickly. If we act in haste with women, however, this would destroy her beauty. And this is mentioned as well. As far as the polarity of the sexes is concerned, this is most important in Islam. Men are the Holy Prophet, Ibn Abbas relates that the Holy Prophet cursed men who were effeminate and women who were masculine. In fact, he said that the promised Messiah ﷺ has even said that you should keep a beard. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, grow a beard even if as long as a grain of rice. Women also, there's a hadith that says that of the three people that would not enter heaven, one was the rajla, a woman who aped men. So Islam is very strict and very clear that men should behave like men and women should behave like women in order to be a garment for each other. The Holy Quran says, "Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahun," that men are a raiment, a garment for women, and the women are a garment for men. Now if the men act like women and the women act like men, then neither is serving a purpose, neither is a garment for the other, and that leaves both of them exposed. Holy Quran is very clear on the roles of men. Holy Quran says, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisaa," that the men are a guardian over women. And it is important to keep this in mind. It's not that, Holy Quran also says, "Alayhinna daraja," that the men have a rank over the women. But this is not that when a man is having a fight with his spouse, he says, well, I'm superior to you, or I'm your guardian, so you have to do this. What these verses emphasize is that we as men have a responsibility. And in Western society, we do not look at responsibilities, unfortunately. We look more at our rights. But what Islam emphasizes is the responsibility of men towards their wives, and that of the women towards their husbands. The society we live in is moving towards a unisexual society, and it is for this reason that there is so much discord, that there is so much divorce, that people are not getting married and having relationships extramaritally, as I've mentioned. So based on these three things, that one, we must have taqwa; two, men and women should be a garment for each other; and three, we were created in pairs. Based on this, let us look at the marriages of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.